From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
This is Betsy Walker, Mr. Dollar. I'm up and around.
Yes, thanks for calling. Have any time this morning?
I think so.
If possible, I'd like to come over to your apartment again and take an inventory of the gifts that Sheldon Forbes sent you.
That'll be all right, sure.
About an hour?
Sure. I couldn't sleep much last night thinking about all this. I mean, he stole that money because of me.
You mustn't feel that way, Miss Walker. He knew what he was doing. You had no part in the theft.
I have the gifts.
Well, we may have to take those away from you.
I don't mind that. You said he tried suicide. How is he this morning?
I just talked to the hospital. He's going to be all right.
But he has to go to prison?
Yes.
Funny world, Mr. Dollar.
Yeah.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Continental Adjustment Bureau, 418 Elizabeth Avenue, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Forbes matter. More expenses, items 11 to 16. $78.40. Cab fares, meals, accounting services, legal services, cab fares, and more cab fares. I made a comprehensive inventory at Betsy Walker's apartment and spent the rest of the day tracking down the places where the items had been purchased and ascertaining their retail values. Total, $2,780 worth of gifts, bought with stolen money. Betsy Walker also told me that Sheldon Forbes had made appointments to meet her at various times at very expensive restaurants in New York. She had never once kept any of these appointments, but a check with the Waldorf, 21, the Stork, and several other places revealed that Forbes had always made elaborate arrangements to entertain her. His restaurant bills came to $835. The florist bill, $670. Total amount spent, $4,285. Total amount stolen, $4,285. Century Styles Incorporated footed the bill in his unsuccessful courtship of Betsy Walker. Hello.
Hi.
Remember me, Forbes?
Sure, insurance man. Well, what now?
How do you feel?
Okay. You saved me, didn't you?
I suppose so.
Why?
Same reason you'd save a man who was dying. You know what I've been doing?
What?
Answering the questions you wouldn't answer. I met Betsy Walker.
What?
My job, Forbes. I had to.
How did you know about her?
I followed you night before last when you got out on bail. I saw you go to the theater.
Listen, you had no right to go to her. You have no right to involve her in any of this.
Why didn't you think of that a month or so ago? It's the company's money you've been spending on her. I had every right, as unpleasant as it is.
I suppose she knows all about me now.
That's right, all.
Boy, I sure must look like the prize sucker of all time. Must have handed her a laugh.
She didn't think it was one bit funny. And Forbes, I don't think it's funny either.
Then what are you standing here for? Lording it over me?
I'm not doing that at all. I'm just here to let you know how things are at the moment.
All right. How are things?
Well, first off, we took back all the gifts you gave her.
Dirty skunk.
Don't get mad at me, Forbes. Get mad at yourself. I didn't steal the money and try to impress her. You did.
Why didn't you leave it alone? What difference does the money make to you?
Nothing to me, but it means something to my insurance company. They still want it back, and they'll get as much back as they can.
Well, swell. Good for them. What do you want now?
Your signature.
Hmm?
I think I traced most of it down. You want to look this over? Go ahead. Those figures about right?
I suppose so. I didn't keep track.
Approximately?
I suppose so. You're pretty thorough, aren't you?
We have to be. Will you sign this?
No.
It'll help to clear up our bookwork a little. What difference does it make now? We've got you cold.
Okay. What difference does it make? Give me.
Okay, thanks.
That's all it means to you, isn't it?
Hmm?
Dollars and cents.
Dollars and cents that were stolen, Forbes. Remember that.
You wouldn't let me forget it.
No, I wouldn't. You did the dumbest thing in the world. You stole nearly $5,000 trying to make an impression on a girl who didn't want to have a thing to do with you. You went about it wrong from top to bottom. You've acted like the great stone face ever since you've been found out. You wouldn't bother telling me about it. I had to go out and find out myself. Off the record, Forbes. What'd you do? See her on the stage one night?
No, at the office.
Office? Your office?
No, not exactly. Ellie was having a showing for some buyers from the West Coast one day a few weeks ago. For those kind of showings, he hires models from the agency. Betsy's listed with one of the agencies. You know, she acts and sings and models.
Oh, sure.
Well, I happened to be upstairs when the showing was going on. There were a lot of publicity people there taking pictures and so on. And I saw her. She was wearing a black dress, and her hair was soft. She's got a smile like all the sun risings. Sounds silly?
Not at all.
It's just that I never in all my life saw anyone like it before.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is with other guys, but she was for me from then on. I couldn't get her out of my mind. I found out her name, and then I found out she worked in that show at the Empress Theater.
Yeah?
All I had was her name. I didn't know how to go about meeting her. I just didn't know.
You figured a little money might attract her to you.
I've heard that's the best way to do it.
It's one way. Not the best way, kid.
Probably not. The best way I could think of.
What did you think about taking the money?
I thought I'd be able to stick it back. Well, I guess I really didn't think much beyond just meeting her. Having her look at me the way I wanted her to look at me.
What?
It was the wrong way to go about it, sure. But then did you ever think of my alternative? I've thought of it. I pictured myself knocking on her door one night, and I could see her answering it. "I'm Shelley Forbes, Betsy," I'd say. "Clothes don't make the man," I'd say, while she sort of took in my tweed suit and the only coat I've got to my name. "Listen," I'd say, "I got an 8x10 apartment over on 59th Street. The halls always smell like cabbage, but I'm a heck of a fine guy. And I drive a 1946 Ford that misses a little, but it's good enough for us." Then I'd say, "Why don't you toss on your mink, and we'll go over to my dump, and we'll have a bottle of beer, and I'll tell you how much I love you." How about that? Some alternative, huh? She makes more money in an hour than I make in a week. I couldn't even afford to keep her in cigarettes. Lord, I wanted her like nothing in my whole life.
She might have taken you up on it, Forbes, if you'd put it that way.
Yeah? What makes you think so?
She wasn't impressed by any money or any gifts. More than that, I met her. She's a pretty nice girl.
Yeah.
Up until the time I talked with Sheldon Forbes in the hospital, I'd always had my doubts about love happening at first sight. After my talk with him, I was convinced that it could and did happen to him. I was sorry that he didn't know quite how to handle it. I was also wondering, if I'd been in his shoes, would I have done the same thing? Expense account item 17, $4.90. I sent a wire to my home office telling them that the recovery would be in the amount of something like $2,500, obtainable on the redeemable gift items recovered. After that, I went back to my hotel. I was surprised to find Betsy Walker waiting in the lobby.
Hello, Mr. Dollar.
Why, hello.
I was afraid you might leave town. I wanted to talk to you.
Sure, you just caught me. I was going upstairs and pack. What is it?
Could we have a drink or something?
Sure. Expense account item 18, $2, 2 drinks. For Betsy Walker and myself at the hotel bar. It was midday and there wasn't much action. She sat across from me, ordered an old-fashioned, and asked for a cigarette.
Thank you.
Sure.
What'll happen to him?
Forbes?
Yes.
Oh, he'll be sentenced Monday. They canceled the Friday scheduling because he was in the hospital.
He'll go to prison?
Yes.
Have you seen him since he tried to kill himself?
Just left him.
I guess he feels awful.
Yeah.
I told you I haven't been able to sleep thinking about all this. Well, about him, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Would he have to go to prison even if all the money was returned?
Only half of it's redeemable. The rest, florist bills, restaurants and so on, just gone.
How much does it come to, Mr. Dollar?
Short about $2,000, roughly.
If you had that money, what would happen to him?
Oh, it'd be up to the court. I'd say he'd have a good chance of getting off if he changed his plea.
Could I get him to change his plea?
I think you could get him to do anything.
I want to pay it.
You what?
I want to pay that other $2,000 for him and get him to change his plea. I'll make up the whole thing.
Hey, now, look, Miss Walker, I know your motives might be the best, but you aren't responsible in any way for this man's actions.
He stole money because of me. He tried suicide because of me. And now he's going to prison because of me.
But you had nothing to do with it, no part of it.
You may think I'm 22 years old. I'll be 29 next month. I'm not much of an actress or a singer or anything else. But I've been around this town and I know my way around. And I met all kinds. Whoever he is, whatever he's done, he's the first man I've ever known who actually went out on a limb for a girl he loved. I'm the girl and he's the man.
You're serious?
I probably won't remember his name a year from now. But that poor, stupid, wonderful dumbbell, he doesn't belong in any prison. He ought to get married to some nice girl somewhere. I want to help him get out of this trouble. Can I?
Betsy?
After all, he's given me something. Call it faith in mankind again, if you like. What's the kiss for?
What you just gave me, Betsy. Faith. Expense account item 19, $48, hotel. Item 20, $37, meals. 21, $15, miscellaneous. 22, same as item 1, $28.63, fare back to Hartford. Total cost of investigation, $363.51. Remarks? She got Forbes to change his plea. She paid back the additional money. He comes to trial next week. He might get a suspended sentence. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Remember, there'll be another intriguing story for you beginning next Monday night.
Next week, a trip south of the border where the flashing eyes of a dark-haired senorita spells plenty of, well, believe me, romance and trouble can go hand in hand. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by John Dawson, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in this week's cast were Lillian Baeff, Sandra Gould, Jack Edwards, Herb Ellis, James McCallion, Parley Bear, John Stevenson, Howard McNair, Bob Bruce, and Junius Matthews. Musical supervision by Amerigo Marino. Be sure to join us on Monday night, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
Johnny Dollar.
Paul Peters, Johnny, at Western Identity Company.
Oh, hiya, Paul. How's the weather out there in the City of the Angels?
Johnny,
Yeah?
can you come out here right away?
What's up?
Well, put it this way. How would you like to give some much-needed help in the race for outer space?
Oh, well, if you mean take a ride in one of those experimental space capsules...
No, I mean...
Thanks, Paul, but I'll stay in the cheering section for a while.
No, I mean put a stop to the trouble that's threatening to... But, Johnny, we have no proof. No proof at all.
No proof of what?
That these deaths were anything but accidental. That they weren't incidental to something much bigger.
Paul...
But if you can find out who's in back of them, who's in back of all this...
Hey, look, will you start making sense?
What?
The race for outer space, remember?
Yes, Johnny, and you know its importance.
Yeah, and I take it some company, some client of yours has a hand in it.
Yes.
But they're having trouble.
Yes.
What?
Because although there's no proof, I'm convinced, Johnny.
Yeah? Well, come on, Paul.
All right. Sabotage.
Oh?
Yes, Johnny. Sabotage.
CBS Radio brings you Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Western Indemnity Company, Los Angeles office. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the Flask of Death matter. Expense account item 1, $180.40 for a plane to New York, then one of the big jets to Los Angeles. Item 2, $570 for a cab to Paul Peters' office on Wilshire Boulevard on the strip they call the Miracle Mile.
I've arranged a rental car for you, Johnny, so you can get on up there right away.
On up where, Paul? And you still haven't told me what this is all about.
Look here at this detailed map, just above Santa Barbara. Here.
Hey, looks like that road runs off into the ocean.
On a high bluff overlooking the ocean is the Bar Manufacturing Company.
Bar.
From the names of Doctors Joseph L. Barham and Ralph T. Barnwell. They're a couple of top-grade scientists.
So what do they build? Spaceships?
Ostensibly, they make small aircraft components, but actually, well, after they were dropped from governmental service, they begged and borrowed a lot of money to set up a little plant. And they've developed a capsule they're sure will enable a man safely to return from outer space.
Kind of competing with the government, aren't they?
Barham and Barnwell are determined to prove that private enterprise can accomplish more than a lot of inter-service wrangling can.
More power to them.
And if they can prove their rescue capsule works, they'll make millions, Johnny, literally millions.
Well, I should think so.
Naturally, we, as their insurance company, will benefit, too. So far, though, it's cost us a lot of money.
Oh, how, Paul?
Insurance policies on a couple of their key men who died recently under most peculiar circumstances.
Yeah, how?
During the testing of this device, but nobody seems to know exactly how or why those men died. Now, if you can find out for us...
Yeah, well, I can try.
Barham and Barnwell don't want you up there poking around, Johnny, but I've insisted on it, so they're expecting you.
I see.
So will you get on up there right away?
Sure, why not? Thanks to a good freeway system, I arrived at the Bar plant shortly after 2 p.m. One of the guards led me onto a long steel platform that stuck far out over a wide cove at the edge of the ocean. At the end of it, surrounded by a lot of complicated machinery, attended by half a dozen men, was Dr. Ralph Barnwell at the controls of a gigantic hoist. A long, heavy steel cable on it was pulling something out of the deep waters of the cove. Much to my surprise, Dr. Barnwell didn't seem to resent my presence at all.
Yes, Dollar. Here comes the space capsule. This time the test has to be successful.
Say, tell me, Dr. Barnwell.
Twice before it was plunged, fired into this deep hole at the edge of the ocean under conditions simulating a return from outer space. Everything within the capsule functioned perfectly. The tests were a complete success, except for one thing.
Yeah, what's that?
For no apparent reason, for no reason at all.
Yeah?
The man inside it was dead.
I see.
Easy now. Lower, Doc. Yes. All right now. Ready on the cradle. And that's why, Mr. Dollar. That's why my partner, Dr. Joseph Barham, insisted on making this test himself. All right, men. Release the pressure so we can open the door of the capsule. All ready? Good. Good. All right, now, come along, Dollar.
Open it up yourself, Doctor?
Yes. Yes, I'll open it. Stand aside. Stand aside then so that we can... All right, now, Dr. Barton, did you... Joseph.
You, Doctor.
Like the others, sir. Dr. Barham's dead.
You saw it yourself, Dollar. There was nothing inside that capsule that could possibly have killed Joseph Barnes.
Yeah, well, now, maybe the autopsy will, Doctor?
Yes, of course. We'll have an autopsy, the same as we had on the other two men who died this way, that I know what the findings will be.
What, sir?
Asphyxiation. But I tell you, it's impossible. If the atmosphere inside it became insufficient or faulty for any reason at all, it would have shown up on the tape recordings that we so carefully checked over. And these young scientists we employed don't miss anything, Dollar.
Well, what about a poisonous gas of some kind in there?
Poisonous gas?
Well, 3 of these in a row, Doctor. It looks kind of deliberate, doesn't it?
The presence of any known poisonous gas would have been recorded, too.
Any known poisonous gas?
What?
Well, isn't that what you said, Doctor? And with all the people in the world who'd like to see you fail with the rescue capsule, don't you think a few of them might be clever enough to make up something you couldn't spot?
You're talking about some spy, that sort of nonsense?
Is it nonsense?
Nothing could be placed in that capsule without our knowing about it.
You're pretty sure of all the people you have working here?
Of course we are, as sure as we can be.
Yeah?
And what's more, if any device had been placed in the capsule to release this poisonous gas you're talking about, we'd have discovered it when we opened the capsule. We'd have smelled traces of it.
Well, maybe. And maybe it sounds wild, Doctor, but have you considered the possibility of the man himself in there releasing some kind of...
Dr. Barham, a suicide? No. Good heavens, no.
All right, how was a breathable atmosphere provided inside that thing?
2 oxygen tanks, primarily, and a minus-pressure tank system containing a CO2 absorption unit, plus, of course...
Well, what's been done with the oxygen tanks that were aboard?
Why, they've probably been returned to the storeroom where they can be made ready for the next test.
You're not sure?
I tell you, Dollar, the presence of any poisonous gas...
Any known poisonous gas, remember? You know that rescue capsule inside and out, don't you?
Every square inch. Even the most minute detail.
Well, I know nothing about it, but, Doctor, that might be an advantage in my investigation.
What?
Because I have no preconceptions about why or how some device couldn't be put aboard.
I'm afraid I don't follow.
So maybe I'm just the one to find out how it was.
But that doesn't...
Also, I have a strange little hunch I'd like to follow up. Do you believe in hunches, Doctor?
Hardly. As a scientist, But, Mr. Dollar, if your hunch can result in finding the killer among us...
Maybe it will, Doctor. Maybe it will. My hunch was a long shot, and I knew it. But my hunches usually pay off. Dr. Barnwell promised no interferences and gave me a pass that would get me by his security guards to any department or laboratory in the place. I talked with some of his bright young scientists and engineers and other technicians, not because I expected to get anything from them, and I didn't, but to hide my real purpose. Then I wandered into the storeroom where the oxygen cylinders were kept. I talked to a rather dull-witted character named Pete Prosser.
Just about to empty out these here little oxy bottles and go home. Say, didn't I see you up there on the dock with Dr. Barnwell this afternoon, Mr. Dollar?
Yeah, that's right, Pete. And, aren't you the one who opened some of the valves on the outside of that capsule just before Dr. Barnwell opened the door of it?
Well, release valves, they call them, Mr. Dollar.
Yeah.
I open them up real slow so as to let the inside pressure get what you call equalized with the outside air.
Or to release whatever was inside that killed him.
Oh, what you say, Mr. Dollar?
Pete, where do the oxygen bottles come from that are used to provide an atmosphere in that capsule?
Right here in my storeroom, Mr. Dollar.
Oh, you fill them up yourself? From a master cylinder of the stuff, something like that, huh?
Oh, no, sir. I only issue them out when I get the orders, Mr. Dollar. I guess they don't think I got brains enough for anything much else. But I really have, Mr. Dollar. I got a lot of...
Well, who does fill them up for use?
Well, now, that's a funny thing, Mr. Dollar. I don't exactly know.
You don't know?
But it must be some of the scientists they got all around here. For all I know, Mr. Dollar, is they're always full and ready when I get the orders to deliver Flask number so-and-so and so-and-so up to the dock. I come down here and get them and then help install them.
What happened to the bottles that we used this afternoon?
Well, the first thing we done, Mr. Dollar, was check them out up there on the dock.
Check them out?
Well, sure, Mr. Dollar, to be sure they still had pressure in them in case their running out was what killed poor Dr. Barham. But it wasn't, on account of they still had plenty of pressure.
You emptied them up there?
Oh, no, sir, Mr. Dollar. That's what I was going to do when you come here just now. Hey, you see them here on this rack?
Yeah. What have you hooked them up to? That pipe through the ceiling there. What's that?
Oh, that's the exhaust. You see, I just put this valve, and they empty out in the air where they can't cause no explosion or nothing.
No, wait. Close that valve.
Oh, sure. Only we can't fill them up fresh if we don't empty them first.
Hey, Pete, well, listen, Pete.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dollar.
Well, I've kept you after hours, and I'm sorry for that.
Oh, that's all right.
So, why don't you run along and I'll take care of emptying these flasks for you, huh?
Well, now, that's real nice of you, Mr.
Yeah,
Dollar.
sure. I'll see you in the morning.
Yes, sir. Well, good night, Mr. Dollar, and thank you, sir.
When he was gone, I tore over to one of the laboratories I'd visited earlier. There I borrowed a couple of healthy-looking white mice. Then back to the storeroom. I hooked a tube onto each of the oxy bottles and slowly fed the contents, supposedly pure oxygen, into the cage with the mice. Well, for a while, they cavorted about very merrily, and I wondered if for once my hunch had been a wrong one. But then, suddenly, the mice keeled over, lay there, gasping for breath. And by the time I could shut off the valve, both of them were stone dead. Now I knew how Dr. Barham and the others had been killed inside the space rescue capsule. But by whom? And more important at the moment, why? And then I remembered the old Latin phrase, cui bono, who benefits? And the answer came so easily I could have kicked myself. But how to prove all this? Well, maybe if I took the lethal oxygen tanks up to Dr. Barnwell's office and... maybe there was a better way. Yeah, a little less dangerous.
Yes, come in. Oh, come in, Mr. Dollar.
Hi, Doctor.
Well, as long as you're still around, why don't we have dinner together? And what's that you have there?
Oh, it's just one of the oxygen bottles that was taken off the rescue capsule this afternoon. Yeah, I'll fit it here by the door.
May I ask why?
Well, because I think the valve has developed a leak, and I just thought you ought to know about it.
The valve? It leaks?
Sure. Did you hear it?
Yes. Yes, well, then we'd best get it out of here.
Oh, no, that's all right. Sit down, Doctor. I want to talk with you.
Yes, but a lot of additional oxygen in here. If you were to forget and light a cigarette, light a match.
I won't forget. Probably wouldn't do a thing anyway.
Now, Mr.
You know, in spite of your nice reception, I understand you didn't want me to come up here and poke around.
Well, I'm sorry if you got that impression. It's probably because Dr. Barham and I thought that...
You and Barham got out of government service, didn't you?
Why, yes, we did, because the
security boys found out some things about you they didn't like?
I know, that's ridiculous.
Doctor, I'm not going to beat around the bush any longer. I should have known there was something phony about your ordering the pressure released in that capsule before you'd opened it up this afternoon.
What?
It was really to dissipate the poison gas in it, wasn't it?
What poison gas? Mr. Dollar, I told you my opinion of your poison gas theory earlier. But now about this flask of oxygen you
Doctor, now that the capsule works, it's worth millions, isn't it?
Works? By killing 3 good men?
The first 2, I suspect, were to convince everybody it was accidental.
What?
Sure. So nobody'd be suspicious when Dr. Barham...
Dollar.
Yeah. leaving everything to you, Mr.
What is this nonsense? And listen, about this leaky bottle of oxygen.
Well, now, why get so upset about it?
I'm not upset.
Then sit down.
No,
Doctor, I said sit down.
What do you mean? Gun?
Yes, sir, that's right. Now move over so I can call the police to come and pick you up for murder.
No, you can't prove it. And listen to me.
Well?
Listen, we must get out of here quickly.
Oh, I'm in no hurry. Now, Dr. Barnwell.
Listen, that flask there by the door leaking the gas in here.
I thought it was harmless oxygen.
It is. Of course it is. Only just... Please, let me out.
Doctor, you try to move and I'll pull this trigger so help.
But that gas... That hydrogen oxygen gas.
Oh, is that what you really put in that harmless-looking little flask?
Yes.
The same slow-acting gas you used to kill your partner and the other two, huh?
Yes.
Then you admit it, huh?
Yes, I killed him. I killed Baron to get the plant for myself.
You'll put that in writing?
Anything, but let me out before the gas kills me, too. I can feel it now. We're too late, We're too late.
Oh, stop blubbering and get up on your feet.
Too late, we'll die.
Wrong, Doctor. This flask isn't one of those out of the capsule.
What?
No. I pulled this one off the shelf. All it holds is pure oxygen. I hope. I don't know, of course, but I suspect the government will take over. Maybe they'll have something in that space rescue capsule. But as for money, royalties, well, I'm sure that Barnwell won't be able to spend much in prison. Expense account total, including a couple of days and nights in Santa Barbara and a trip back to Hartford, $431 even. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This week a story that's called The Wholly Unexpected Matter. And believe me, the title fits. Yeah, it involves a wild trip across the country in search of a killer. A killer who just happens to be looking for me. Who apparently knows more about my plans and where I'm going than I do myself. All of which leads up to a really unexpected twist at the end of the yarn. I think you'll like this one. Like it a lot. So join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood and is written, produced, and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in our cast were Paul Duboff, Parley Bear, G. Stanley Jones, Forrest Lewis, Tom Hanley, and Bill James. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
This is Connie, Mr. Dollar.
Well, you're about the last person in the world I thought I'd be hearing from.
What do you mean? I waited for you last night at the Trade Winds bar, but you didn't show up.
No, I got delayed on the way by a hit over the head in a warehouse on a pier.
What?
No, don't tell me that surprises you.
Of course it does.
Look, that whole routine of yours yesterday about telling me where Tom Chase is hiding was just a decoy so he could get me down there and try to finish me off. If that night watchman hadn't come along when he did, I'd still...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Want to prove that?
Yes, but how?
By opening up and telling me what this is all about. Where are you now?
Downstairs in the lobby.
I'll be right down.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. From Special Investigator Johnny Dollar, location Barbados, British West Indies. To the Home Office, Universal Adjustment Bureau, Hartford, Connecticut. Assignment, the Phantom Chase Matter. Expense account continued. Item 21, 2 cents. Exactly what I'd have taken at that point to chuck the whole deal. Getting slugged on the head the night before was bad enough. But when I got down to the lobby that morning and found that Connie was nowhere in sight, I realized I was right back where I started from, which was nowhere. I went over to the desk.
Yes, sir?
Hey, look, a girl just phoned me from the lobby. Did you see her?
Yes, sir. A most attractive young lady.
Yeah, and right now a most invisible young lady. Where'd she go?
Why, I don't know, sir.
Was she alone?
Oh, it's quite alone. She came in and asked to be put through to your room, and after she'd hung up, she suddenly turned and walked out.
Oh, well, that's just great. You wouldn't happen to know her?
I'm afraid that's a pleasure that's been denied me, sir.
Ever seen her before?
Yes, once or twice around town.
Was she with someone when you saw her?
Oh, sir, a woman with such obvious charm is seldom alone.
Yeah, well, you remember what the man she was with looked like?
Well, only in a vague sort of way, I'm afraid. He was large, rather handsome. Athletic looking, I'd say.
Could be Chase, all right.
Chase?
Skip it. Well, that's that, I guess.
Sorry you didn't make connections, sir. But perhaps she'll come back.
I'm not counting on it. A long time ago, I learned that in my job, it's always a good idea to keep in contact with the local authorities. So I decided to visit the Colonial Police. As of the moment, I needed a shoulder to do a little crying on. The shoulder in this case turned out to belong to an Inspector Whitsett.
Let me see if I have this thing straight, Mr. Dollar. This chap you're looking for, Tom Chase, embezzled some money from the New York investment firm in which he was a junior partner.
Yeah, that's right, Inspector. Everson and Chase was the firm. $120,000 was the amount.
100? My goodness, Chase must be rather clever, swindler.
Yeah, and pretty speedy, too. He's kept 2 jumps ahead of me all the way.
And you think he's traveling under the name of Tom James?
I'm sure of it. In New Orleans, a man named Freddie Quintana told me Chase and James are one and the same and showed me some handwriting to prove it.
But Chase eluded you in New Orleans.
Yeah. Quintana was going to turn him over to me for a price, but then he turned up dead in an alley.
So your friend Chase is dangerous as well as clever. Why, you do have your problems, don't you?
A bucket full of them, Inspector.
And now you think that this Chase or James is hiding here in Barbados?
Well, I'm pretty sure of it. You see, he left New Orleans in a hurry after Quintana's murder.
Understandably.
But he burned some papers, not completely, and we found one with some numbers on it. They turned out to be about a ship sailing. I intercepted the ship at Haiti, but learned that Chase had gotten off in Havana.
I see.
The Havana police found out for me that he'd bought a plane ticket here to Barbados.
And so here you are. Well, I must say you're persistent.
Oh, yeah. But so far it's got me one big nothing. I thought my luck had changed when I met Connie last night, but apparently that was just a decoy.
Connie?
Yeah, here. Here, I've written down a description of her. I'd sure appreciate it if you could help me find her.
Yeah. Oh, I say, from this description, it sounds as though it would be a pleasure to find her, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, Inspector. She's quite a dish.
How does this Connie enter into the situation?
Well, pretty basically. You see, nobody up in New York could figure out why Chase had turned sour. His senior partner, George Everson, was mystified, and so was Chase's wife, Lola. But I guess the reason was pretty obvious right from the start, except nobody wanted to face up to it.
I take it you refer to perhaps the classic reason, another woman.
Right. I found out that Chase's New Orleans hideout had been arranged for him by a woman. Then last night, Connie told me she knew where Chase was, and for enough money to get back to the States, she'd tell me.
Well, then this Connie would appear to be the other woman, huh?
Yeah. She said she wanted out, but it turned out to be a trap.
Oh? How so?
Well, she set up a meeting for us last night, but on the way to it, I got slugged.
Oh?
Apparently, a night watchman came along right afterwards. Otherwise, I suppose Chase would have finished me off. One thing I don't get, though.
What's that?
Well, why would Connie call me from the hotel lobby this morning, then duck out before I could get downstairs?
Was she alone when she left?
According to the clerk, yes. Oh, I know what you're thinking, Inspector. Could be she still wanted to go through with the deal, but spotted Chase closing in, so she ducked out.
Something like that. Well, Mr. Dollar, it would appear you're stymied unless you can find Connie again.
Stymied? Inspector, I'm scuttled.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dollar.
Clerk, has that girl been back?
The one you called, Connie?
Yeah.
No, sir. I've been keeping an eye out for her here in the lobby, but I've seen no sign of her.
No calls or messages for me, huh?
No, sir. If I see her, of course, I'll get in touch with you immediately. You'll be in your room?
No, I'll be at the Trade Winds bar.
The Trade Winds? Well, that's one of the waterfront bars, isn't it, Mr. Dollar?
That's right.
It was none of my business, sir, but I would be just a bit careful if I were you.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, That part of town, sir. It's not the best.
Oh, you're telling me. I got hit over the head down in that part of town last night.
And now you're going back there?
Real glutton for punishment, huh? My thought was that the Trade Winds Bar was as good a place to go as any at the moment. Connie had wanted me to meet her there last night. If she really was on the up and up, she might try to contact me there again. The Trade Winds was a typical waterfront dive. Through the swirling smoke, I could make out sailors, fishermen, West Indians, and tourists all rubbing elbows. Item 22, 50 cents, 2 rum punches. They came cheap there. Halfway through the second one, I spotted someone in the doorway, Connie. But then she saw me and ducked out fast. So she didn't want to contact me. But I sure wanted to contact her. I went out the side door. My hunch was right. She was trying the alley. I stepped in front of her.
Let go of me.
Oh, no, baby. Just stay put. Stay
Please.
put.
I don't know what this is all about. Honest, Mr.
Now,
Dollar.
look. This is no time to start playing coy. Where's Chase?
I don't know.
Come on, come on.
Please, you must believe me. I should never have come to you in the first place. I'm not Chase's girlfriend like you think.
Oh, try again, sister.
Really, I'm telling the truth, Mr. Dollar. I know I posed to you as his girl, but I'm really not.
Look.
I was trying to work something for myself. When you started talking about murder, I realized I was getting involved in things I shouldn't.
What are you talking about?
Honestly, I can explain everything to you, Mr. Dollar.
Okay. Inside. That's just what you're gonna do. Look, we'll take this table right here. Go on, sit down. All right, now, Connie, let's have it.
Mr. Dollar, I want you to know I'm pretty ashamed of myself for what I was trying to do. It was wrong. I should have realized it sooner.
Less editorial and more news, huh?
Well, I met Tom Chase, or Tom James as he calls himself, here in Barbados a couple of days ago.
A couple of days ago? You mean in New York a long time ago, don't you, Connie?
No, Mr. Dollar, I wasn't Chase's girlfriend. I'd never seen him before 2 days ago, right here.
Go on.
I had a date with him. Then I found out you'd been asking around town for him, so I decided on a plan.
So?
I found you and told you I knew where Chase was. You thought I was his girl, and so I went along with it. I was supposed to have a date with him last night here at the Trade Winds, but he didn't come.
He was too busy hitting me over the head at the time. You telling me the truth, Connie?
I swear it.
Then there's one big question. Why did you do it?
Because I'm broke, Mr. Dollar. I'm stranded here in Barbados, and I want to go back to the States. I thought
You
that
were
if-
going to put the finger on him for enough dough to get back to the States, huh?
I'm afraid that's about it.
And you don't have any idea where he is now?
None at all.
Well, that's just fine. My last lead, out the window.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dollar.
You're sorry. Look, did he mention his girlfriend to you?
He did say he was expecting a friend down here.
They probably had it rigged for her to meet him here later. He didn't give you any indication where he was staying, huh?
No,
Or what his future plans were?
no. There was one thing.
Well, what was it?
Well, I don't know if it means anything
Well,
or
come on,
not.
let's have it.
Well, we were here at the Trade Winds night before last. Afterwards, we walked around the waterfront for a while.
Yeah?
Tom stopped and talked to one of the fishermen there for quite a while.
Ah. Could you hear what they were saying?
No, they left me and went off to one side.
Now, listen, Connie. Do you think you'd recognize that fisherman if you saw him again?
Yes, I think so.
Then come on. We went outside. It was sunset. A few fishermen were scattered along the wharves, mending nets, getting their gear in shape. We gave each one of them the once-over, then kept going. Suddenly, Connie stopped.
There he is, Johnny. The one who's yawning.
Okay, thanks. You stay here. Good evening.
Good evening.
You don't sound very convinced.
Oh, sure, it's a good evening. Soon it will be good night, and then I can go to bed.
Hey, look, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions.
Oh, sure. Sure.
Mind staying awake a few minutes?
Good. It's that I'm tired. Last night I worked all night.
Oh? Fishing really must be good around here.
It's not the fishing, it was the passenger.
Passenger? Who?
He don't give his name.
Where'd you take him?
Lagos Island.
Where's that?
3 hours by boat from here.
What's there?
Nothing.
Nothing.
A small abandoned pier, an old abandoned house. Nothing else. Nobody else.
Uh-huh. You let him off there, huh?
Yes, but he should be comfortable. He took much food with him.
You mean he's there now, then?
Sure. There are no boats there, and nobody could swim so far.
I see. Okay, partner. Thanks a lot. Pleasant dreams. At this point, it looked real easy, and I began to wonder if it wasn't a little too easy. Chase sitting there on Lagos Island with no way to get off. All I had to do was hire myself a boat and go pick him up. I looked at the fisherman. He smiled at me politely. I looked back at Connie. She smiled too. Yeah, everything could be on the up and up. Or it could be a great big trap. But one thing was clear. I was going to have to go to Lagos Island to find out.
Now, here's our star to tell you about the next exciting episode of this story.
Getting to the island of Lagos? Easy. But getting away from it in one piece? That's a different story. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by Robert Reif, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us for the next exciting episode of this story on Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.